basically, Gaurav, can you please explain to us? Can you please give us your background? Okay, explain what your
Yes.
company does, and can you explain your background? Explain what your company does.
Sure, Dr. Hubert. So, hi everyone, this is Gaurav Jain,
Yeah.
and we have our own separate institute for GMAT and GRE preparation that is in the name of FT30 and GMAT 30. So, we have been doing a lot of private sessions for individual who need a score improvement, and recently, around few months back, we started creating batches. So, we are conducting batches for GMAT classes, live online batches for GMAT and GRE. And at the same time, we are taking one-on-one sessions for the people who seek score improvement specifically. So
Okay.
these are
And
the services we provide as of now.
okay. So tell me, Gaurav, where do your students study? Do they study in India, in Asia, in the
So
US, in
there is a
Europe? Where do
mix.
they want to
Yeah.
study?
So there is a mix of everything.
Hmm?
A lot of people want to study in US also, in Europe also. A lot of people want to stay back and do their MBA from Indian colleges, such as ISB, SPJAN, XLRI, IIM, ABC. Once they have sufficient year of experience, they also seek admission in IIM, ABC through GMAT.
Hmm.
So primarily they target ISB, XLRI, SPJAN in India, and then they have a lot of other students target US and European schools.
Okay. So that's US. And then what is the breakup between MBA and masters? What is the breakup between the 20, 21 years old students and the 26, 28?
I didn't get your question.
So what is the breakup between MBA applicants and master applicants at your institute, Gaurav?
Okay, you are saying the number of
Yeah.
applicants.
No, but no, what is the breakup? 50%? Is it 50-50
The majority
between?
of them right now are MBA applicants and MIM
Okay.
applicants,
Yeah.
and very few are MS applicants as of now.
Okay.
But that is going to increase because
Yeah.
we had started with GMAT only.
Hmm.
So most of them are targeting MIM courses and MBA courses.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So
And a
about
lot of students had already attended some of the webinars with other counselors earlier. So I suppose some of them decided not to join. I had shared. I
okay.
think we have to call out individually each student and see if
And you
they
see.
are
Okay.
seeking the services for the consulting as of now or not. A lot of they are supposed to give their exam, so I suppose they probably are thinking to appear in the GMAT first and then go through this process or understand these sessions. So maybe that is the reason people have not joined.
Okay. But the thing is that the advantage that we have today, Gaurav, is that so me, I went to good schools, and we also have like Aryan, who has been accepted. So Aryan, I want to introduce you, who has been accepted to Kellogg, NYU, Duke, LBS, HEC, and ESSEC, and who has decided to join us. I think that you know Aryan. Huh? So I decided to ask
Yes.
Aryan because
I
Aryan, I wanted him to give a seminar with you because I thought that it would be that way you can attract the best. So, Aryan, for those who don't know you, can you please introduce yourself, Aryan?
Hi guys, my name is Aryan Xavier. I am 22 years old. I'm currently working for MBA Center India, and I graduated last year from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. I did a Bachelor of Commerce. I did a Bachelor of Commerce and also did a summer school at HEC Paris in investment banking and international corporate finance, where I ended up getting a perfect GPA of 4 and 4. And I believe that is something which propelled me to some of the best business schools in the world mentioned by Dr. Hubert. I got into ESSEC Masters in Finance, HEC, MIM, Duke, MMS with a scholarship of 15,000 US dollars, NYU, and Northwestern Kellogg for their MSMS plus MBA program. But I finally chose ESSEC Business School. So during the course of this webinar, the idea is to let you all know what propelled me to choose ESSEC Masters in Finance over the other programs.
Basically, you see, Ahmad, we do it slightly different. But yes, of course, it's one of the reasons. Basically, Gaurav, you have many students like Aryan, so basically fresher out of bachelor, want to
Yes,
study
yes.
in Europe. You have, of course, Aryan has a very strong profile academically, but you tend to have more and more people like Aryan who want to study in the US and in the UK right after the bachelor. Yeah.
Yes, yes, we do have similar candidates with similar profiles with who are graduates who are who have just graduated from the colleges or have just 1 or 2 years of experience. So yes, those are the people who match the similar criteria
Okay.
and will probably have the similar intention.
Okay, to go there. Now, basically, Aryan, so that's the first question that we can ask you is that like if you had run the same seminar 5 years ago, okay, people would have told you, but what are you talking about? I want to go for an MBA. What about the master's? So, according to you, why? We work a lot together. When we go somewhere, we see what's going on. Why more and more young Indians wants to go to masters and maybe not even
See,
the MBA? Why do they want to do the masters right after the bachelor, like Europeans do? Okay.
yeah. So first and foremost, there is a lot of difference in the cost and also in terms of the return on investment, right? So if you are somebody as an Indian, if you're planning to do an MBA abroad overseas, roughly you are shelling out about 2 crore rupees, right? And even to reach that 2 crore point, you need around 5-6 years of work experience, and along with 5-6 years of front office work experience for the likes of Harvard, Wharton, Stanford, California, and stuff like that. Along with it, you also need a GMAT score of 750, 760, right? Which is not like a very easy score to get, right? So that's one reason why MBAs get very, very difficult, and that's why a lot of Indians end up getting rejected. They apply for these M7 MBAs and for the Ivy League MBAs, and they end up getting rejected after working really hard in India for 5-6 years and then getting a good GMAT score, right? But on the contrary, when we look at the MIMs or like specialized business masters, they are meant to sort of give you that early career progression that one needs. So as an Indian, if you sort of do a master's, if you do a master's from an investment standpoint, also you are shelling out. If you're doing a master's in, like, let's say Europe or in the UK, you are shelling out around 55 to 60 lakh rupees, maximum 65 lakh rupees all inclusive, if you are not getting a scholarship, right? And once you are getting a job, you're making around 85,000 euros easily, or 85K pounds easily. And if you do end up working in investment banking and top management consulting roles, right at the end of your master stint, you get a salary that pays you. You get a job that pays you above 100K pounds. So that is a massive difference. Like on one hand, where you're spending like 55 lakhs, you're getting a job, let's say, of 90 lakhs, and on the other hand, you're working really hard for 5-6 years in India. You're getting a good GMAT score. You're shelling out about 2 crore rupees. But getting a salary of 2 crore immediately after your MBA is never guaranteed. People generally end up getting 1 to 150K. America, that's the base. And secondly, getting an MBA is never guaranteed. Like, I know people who have scored 770, 780 with 5-6 years of investment banking, and they couldn't get Harvard, Wharton, Stanford, or like, let's say, an NYU Stern. But on the contrary, if you're scoring a 680 to between a 680 to a 720 on the GMAT, you're getting a London Business School. You can get into, let's say, ESSEC Business School. You can get into HEC if your profile is good. You can get into INSEAD, MIM if your profile is good. LSE, Imperial. A lot of these colleges are there. So these colleges are easy to get into. I wouldn't call it easy. Easy is the wrong word here. It's less competitive, I would say, as compared to an MBA. And the ROI is significantly higher. So by the time, like I was talking about ROIs, right? So, like, let's say you graduate and you get a job, like, let's say, that pays you 85 lakhs. So by the time you are MBA ready, let's say you five years into that company, you are making much more than what a recent MBA would make. So if you are in that stage of your career where you are let's say where you are in your final year of studies, or let's say you have 1.5 years of work experience, then going for masters makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, what we try to explain to the students that we are meeting is that we tell them that it is easier to get a big brand applying for masters. Okay, because probably the competition among Indian students is not that fierce. Okay. So for instance, we can give you example of students who have been accepted to the top 10 MIMs in the world with scores between 680 to 700. So you see, Gaurav, it will make your job easier. Okay. Second of all, you boost your career at a very young age. So at the age of 22, because you start your master's at the age of 21, and you boost it at the age of 22. And second of all, if ever you decide to go for an MBA later on, okay, when you're 26, 27, whatever, then your profile will stand out because you'll be international. You have to see that one of the issues. So as you know, MBA Center works very closely with IESSEC because we manage their GRE and GMAT courses now. And of course, I talk very closely to Paola Amorin, who is the director of admissions from IESSEC. IESSEC is number 3 best MBA in the world, so it's a good program. And she tells me that the problem that she has with Indians, she has cultural problems. They live in a country that is very competitive. They have a very competitive spirit, and they prefer a collaborative spirit. Okay, knowing that these MBAs are anyway quite competitive naturally. Okay, and second of all, they want students who are international. So of course, if you have studied like Aryan, if you have spent like 2 years studying in France and 3 years studying in the UK, working in the UK, of course, it would be much easier for you to get a top MBA. Yeah? So that's the most important thing. So for these 3 reasons, okay, I've seen so many students with a 750. You see, Gaurav. Okay, that's something that you have to say. And who finally get in the US, they get at the end, what do they get?
Okay.
It's very sad. Not even Duke, not even Com, and they get Georgetown, they get Boston University. So basically they get not even Darden. Not even Darden. So they get basically in the ranking between 16 to 20 best MBA. And it's not because we are bad, because I see that all the time going on. Okay, and after having applied to 10 schools, Gaurav. Okay, so it's very difficult.
Correct. It's a possibility even after scoring, you may end up with a college that is not even in the top 15 US. Correct.
Yeah, because you have to see that MBA programs, business school, take 10%. They can only have 10% Indian students. Okay,
Right.
So basically, a school like HEC, for instance, cannot take more than 35 Indians. But you have to understand that probably, I would say probably 1,000 Indians apply to HEC, 1,000, 1,200. Okay, you can imagine the ratio that you have. It's very difficult. So, and also that's something that Aryan did not mention, but when you're an Indian, you don't compete against the French, you compete against other Indians. Okay, so if you profile, if a French guy has 700 and you have 750, it doesn't mean that you get in, because you're going to compete against another Indian from IT, from XLRI, from NMIMS, who has also very good GMAT and probably more professional experience than you, or more exposure, or more leadership, whatever. So that's something that Indians have to understand. And of course, it's the only one that are like this, because French students don't compete against other French students. French students compete against other students. Okay. So that's of course that's something that was pretty new. And when I started to work with India, so in mid 2020, so close to 3 years ago, I was surprised to see that an Indian with a 730 could not even get HEC. You have to see that I have some Indians, some students from some continent who get HEC with a scholarship, with a 600. Okay, and of course I was not used to India, so I was not used at all to that. Okay. So the other issue that I have for you, Gaurav. So what type of students have you got at your institute? Do you have people who target 750, who target 700.
So most of the student target 700.
Most of them
But
get
yes,
700. Yeah.
yes. So it's of course it depends on the understanding of the student also. They probably would not end up with 700. They intend to target a 700, but people don't think about scoring a 750, 750. And they do not have the idea that this is the kind of GMAT score they need to have a chance at top B school. They intend to apply to top B schools, but their target is somewhere around 700, 710, 720.
Okay, which is
And not
already a
only
good
in
score.
the range of 650 to 700.
Yeah, which
So
is already a
yes,
good score.
people who are ending in the range of 650 to 700, which is majority of the people, it's not wise for them to apply to MBA program because they are not going to get enough value out of it. As you suggested, MIM programs are much better, as Aryan suggested. ROI is much better. You will have accelerated growth in your career, and later, at some point of time, you can think about pursuing MBA.
Yeah.
Once you have a good, solid profile, once
And
you
honestly,
stand in diversity.
So yeah, I
That
agree
would
with
be
you.
and
But
honestly
after that,
speaking, even
yeah,
and
Aryan, what do
honestly
you want to
speaking,
say?
an MBA. Yeah, I was saying that just adding to what Mr. Gaurav said, honestly, at that stage of your career, an MBA is not required because you're already earning more than what an MBA degree could fetch you. So it's more sort of a personal pacification thing that you want to do. If you want to do it to pacify your own self that yes, I want an MBA, then you can go for it. But if you're directly getting a master's, you don't even need an MBA after working 4-5 years in the industry.
Right,
You don't need an
right,
MBA.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly that.
The primary
So
target for a lot of students is to get the exposure of basically location. They want to work in European nations or US, etc. When they if they are there at a good salary at a good location, then they would probably think about this in the similar way that now they don't need an MBA anymore.
yeah, provided that they have an MIM. So basically, what I want to say, Gaurav, at the same time, those who can go for an MIM, business school do not take people who have more than 2 years of work experience for MIM.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's even 1 year. So if they come to you, they are 26, 27, it's impossible for them to get an MIM. So now, all that being said, the second thing that I want to see with you is that, of course, if you get a 700, it's unlikely that you get INSEAD, for instance, in Europe, that you get INSEAD, HEC, LBS, or IAC. It will be very difficult. Of course, I have students who got in, okay? By the way, I never
There
understood
will
why.
be exceptions, but it's not easy. For majority of people, it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah. But what I want to say is that I never understood why some with a 700 get INSEAD and some with a 700 do not even get HEC. It's very difficult for me to understand. And according to me, I think that schools, they don't really read the application. Okay, when they have Indians, they check the thing, they check a few things, and they reject pretty easily. Okay, because it's not easy to understand the logic behind that. Okay, so I would say that if you have a 700 and you want to study in Europe, so where can you study? Probably you can study at maybe Oxford, maybe Cambridge, in France, ESSEC, ESCP, in Italy,
Imperial
probably
College.
Bocconi. Yeah,
Imperial College also.
In Spain, IAC, not IAC, probably IESAD, most German schools. Okay, provided that you apply early. It's another thing. Okay, so basically, 750, you will be in the league. You see, Gaurav, you have to say to a student, you need to have a 750 to be, if you want to apply to the top 15 in the US and the top 4 in Europe. Okay, now with the 710, well, it works. To give you an idea, yesterday I was in contact with a student of ours from Peru. Okay, she didn't even take the GMAT, she took the EA. Okay, she took the EA test. Okay, it's a much easier test, and she got a scholarship from Georgetown. Okay, she got in with a scholarship, and in terms of GMAT, if you can put a GMAT equivalent, she got a 580. Okay, EA was so you can imagine with the 580, she got Georgetown with a scholarship because she's a woman from Peru. Okay, and already, which is strange, is that her husband only got a wait list. Okay, so it means that if you're a woman, if you come from an emerging country, you have many more options. Okay, so that's something. That's why That's why you have to work with very good admission consultant in addition to working with top test prep centers, because the two are very important. Okay, the positioning of the profile, what you say, what you write is very important. Okay, we say that, for instance, if you're German, you score 740, even if your application is not very good, you will get INSEAD, the HEC, LBS, IEC. Okay, you don't have. You have to be really, really bad not to get this school. Okay, with a 740. Okay, if you're an Indian, everything has to be perfect. Okay. The second thing that we have is the issue is the GMAT. Okay. Now, sorry, Gaurav, we're going to tell you things about the GMAT. Okay, that maybe sometime, but that you have to know is that the GMAT and the alternative. Okay, so sometimes that's something that we see a lot. We agree a lot, Aryan. That, and I think it's up to the test prep center, probably Gaurav, to also explain that, is that beyond the GMAT, there are alternatives. Okay. Alors, and we're going to tell you what alternative we offer for our students. Okay. And you're going to tell us if you agree, Gaurav. Okay. Because I think that it's important that as a GMAT expert, a GMAT and GRE expert, we say, look, even if you fail, there are other options available. So what are the options available, Aryan?
So there are, like Dr. Hubert mentioned, there are school-specific tests which are great alternatives to the GMAT and to the GRE if you guys are like confused, or if you guys, like, let's say you take an haywire with you. So one very good school today is IE Madrid. I mean, I believe everyone present here in this call has heard about IE Madrid and its global recognition and brand value. So IE, if you like, let's say, even if you don't have a good GMAT, even if you like, let's say, have not performed to your potential on the GMAT or the GRE, there is a school specific test. It is called as the IE-GAT. You can pretty much take that test and you can clear it with flying colors, because IE-GAT, I would say, if I compare it to the GMAT, IE-GAT questions are GMAT 550 level questions. So it is not it can never be a bone in the throat for you all. And at MBA Center, I have known a lot of students, like even yesterday, even 2 days ago, there was a student, Samiksha, who got IE with IE-GAT, and her GRE score was only 308. So obviously 308 is not a good enough score to apply to a globally an MBA program that is ranked number 5 in the world. So we decided to sort of take the alternative route and prepared her for the IE-GAT test, and she cleared it. Now coming back to the other tests, there is another test which is called as the SHL test. SHL test is offered by ESCP Europe and also Bocconi for their MBA program. Now, anyone who's targeting Europe as their study abroad destination, ESCP is a school that is definitely on their list. Bocconi is a school that is definitely there on that list, on their list. So for Bocconi, like same for IE, if you're not getting a satisfactory GMAT score, you can go ahead with the SHL test, and similarly with the ESCP application, you can take the SHL test. Now SHL test is not at all difficult, because in the SHL test there is no perfect answer. There is only inference. So you have to be very close to the answer, and they want you to get a certain number of questions correct, and they'll take you. So SHL is something like the IR on the GMAT, I would say. And IE-GAT consists of GMAT 550 level quant and verbal questions, not more difficult than that. Then there is another test, another very good school called ESMT Berlin. I'm pretty sure all of you all have heard of ESMT Berlin, because it is one of the most exciting business schools on the planet today. Because ESMT Berlin was founded in coalition with 25 corporate heavyweights, which includes the likes of Bain, BCG, McKinsey, Accenture Strategy, Puma, BMW, and other companies of the similar stature. So these companies, they came together, they funded, and the school came into existence. So they have a very employment-centric program as well. And as an alternative for the GMAT or GRE, they offer a test which is called as the BAT test. They call it the BAT test. So it's another aptitude test consisting of 550, 600 level GMAT questions. Now, another very good alternative is to apply for GMAT waivers. So there are a lot of schools and there are a lot of students at MBA Center that I know of. They had terrible scores on the GMAT and the GRE, and the schools that they were targeting, the schools did not even offer like school specific tests. So in that case, we took the GMAT waiver route. They got GMAT waivers, and today they are happily pursuing their MBAs at schools like University of Southern California and UT Texas. Imagine without the GMAT going to such schools, which serves as a very good launch pad for your career, irrespective of the domain you want to work for. Then there is, I hope I'm not missing out on any test as such. So yeah, these are why not EA? EA serves. EA is called as the executive assistant tests. A lot of American MBA programs use EA as an alternative to the GMAT, which includes the likes of Cornell, Duke, even Columbia, Darden, American schools, even NYU Stern. All these highly coveted MBA schools, they take the EA test. So just in case you all are not able to get the desired 750, 760 score for these MBAs, EA is a great alternative, and it's a very easy test to crack. Again, 550, 600 GMAT level questions, and yeah. So these are some of the alternatives to sort of get into the best schools on the planet today, even without wasting a lot of time or putting in the hard work for a demanding test like the GMAT or the GRE.
Right. So I think they serve the similar purpose, but they are better. They are more practical. Schools have devised these tests so that candidates don't have to waste their time on uncertain tests like GMAT, which requires as much as 6 to 9 months of preparation time. So they have come up with a practical solution of these tests. They serve the similar purpose of testing the capabilities of students, but those can be prepared in a limited time frame and are more practical in nature. I think, yes, these are very good tests to take if you are not getting good score in GMAT, and even before that. People should consider these tests even before contemplating that they should go for GMAT. Right.
So is it something that you advise, Gaurav, to the students if they have failed the GMAT? Because, sorry to tell you that, but I've noticed a lot. I don't know you well enough, but I've noticed that a lot in India, they say if you don't get a top score, you will never do anything. Okay, if you don't get 750 or 700, you will not work. And so basically, you have to understand that there are schools that have what Aryan mentioned. So you have, for instance, the EA test. You have in-house tests. So basically, he mentioned, so many schools have in-house tests, many more than what we believe. The SCP has an in-house test somehow. At the same time, the SHL is not their test; it's a recruitment test that they use.
Yeah.
But Institut d'Empresa has its own psychometrician, so they produce their own test. And of course, many schools also give GMAT waivers. So, for instance, so basically, I would say that since the COVID, Gaurav, I've noticed that the trends tend to be, so since people could not take the test for some time, okay, which is no longer true, schools have finally found out during the COVID that they had a lot of applicants, okay, and a lot of applicants because they had waived tests, okay. So some found out that it's not too bad. For instance, Boston University no longer asks for a test, and Boston University is a top 20. And Georgetown now accept, for instance, the EA, and most of the students now apply with the EA. So it's true that I think that any test prep center should say, look, you are going to try with the GMAT. Of course, if you want to work for McKinsey, if you want to work for a top bank, you need to have a top MBA or top masters, and you cannot avoid that for sure. Okay, but there are other ways around. So, and I gave you the example of this year where the student accepted to MIT. He was from Pakistan, not Indian, but he was from Pakistan, and he got MIT with a GMAT waiver. You see, Gaurav. And we got this girl, Samishka, who got Ezade, AI. She got RSM with a poor GRE score, but she got IE through the IE test, ESCP through the ESCP test, and Ezade through the ESCP test. Now, of course, I perfectly understand that for a test prep center, it's an issue because, of course, test prep centers, they tend to organize group classes, okay? And of course, suddenly you have to work with someone and go back into private tutoring because, of course, very few students ask for this test. Okay. Do you have students asking for this test, Gaurav? After
no,
that?
not as of now, because people, I think students are in India, almost no one is aware of these exams. So first thing is we are supposed to make them aware that these are the better tests you should consider
Yeah.
and easier to prepare. And there are many universities accepting these tests. So first thing is the lack of information that I suppose people are running after GMAT because
Yeah.
they think that is the only exam to get into these universities or colleges. So this is something. First thing is we need to make them aware that there are better alternatives, easier alternatives. Why run after a test that requires 7 to 8 months of extensive preparation time, and
Yeah.
even after that, it's uncertain in nature. There are
Yeah.
better tests. So first thing we need to convey this information.
Yes, I have the feeling, you see, Gaurav, that people have the feeling that if they take these tests, it's like a second, it's like a class 2, it's not a first class test, and they will think that it's bad on the resume and they will not get a good school. But I will say that for instance, in Europe with in-house tests, you can get IE for MBA. I'm thinking of MBA. You can get ISADE, you can get Bocconi, you can get good school, you can get Vlery. Okay. And in test, for instance, with the EA test, you can get Duke, you can get Cornell, you can get Michigan, you can get Darden, BU, Georgetown. So that these schools are top 20. So you can already get a top school. And anyway, if you don't score 750, if you score 680, you have to accept that you score 680, and then you have two options: then MBA or no MBA. And so the option is also not to, it's also to give up. Alors, let's go back to you. So you have to okay, but so you typically okay. So you're not in the situation of a person who needs to take a class B test, etc. So so the GMAT and the GRE. Can you remember us your test score, Aryan? Yeah. Hello. Aryan, can you give us your test scores?
Yeah, so I took the definitely. So I took the GMAT exam twice. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Hubert,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
So guys, I took the GMAT exam first. I took the exam twice. First attempt I took in December 2020. I scored 700, perfect 700. I was happy, but at the same point of time, I wanted to sort of get a better score. Then I took the test again in August of 2021. No luck really. I could manage only a 10-point increase. So I got 710. So 710, and during the summers of 21, I had, like I mentioned, I had attended the HEC summer program as well. So while I was there while I was there attending the summer program, I was told by HEC that if you're looking for an MIM, 700 is our cutoff score, and for MPhil the cutoff score is 710. So I was pretty happy with what I had because I was qualifying for both their programs. But then I decided to take it a notch higher, and I took the GRE test because I knew that for many, I wanted to take the GMAT for the third time and get a score of around 730, 740 just to be sure while applying. But then a lot of complacency creeped in when I started opening GMAT books again. That I would say that, I know this topic, I know that topic. So I wasn't really serious when I sat down to prepare for the third time. So that is when I decided to switch tests. And
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Keep going, Aryan. Yeah. Keep going. Hello. Yeah. We lost you. We lost Aryan. We'll come back.
Yes.
So basically, Aryan was my student, so maybe he will come back. Yeah, can you go back? So basically, you have decided to switch tests from the GMAT to the GRE, Aryan. Yeah.
Yeah, I decided to switch tests from the GMAT to the GRE, and it clicked for me because I scored a 328 on the GRE on 340, so I was pretty happy, and I eventually ended up applying with my GRE score over my GMAT score. So this is another preconceived notion that a lot of people have, that if you're applying for business school programs like MIM and MFins and MSB and stuff like that, you need to have the GMAT, and the GRE will not help you as much as the GMAT will help you. It is untrue. business schools are not biased towards a particular test, which if they say that they accept people with the GMAT and the GRE, both, irrespective of the test that you're taking, you'll be given an equal you'll be given an equal weightage as compared to people who take the GMAT. So you can definitely go ahead and apply with the GRE as well.
Okay, so that's something that you have to consider. So both tests are accepted. So me, for instance, I applied with the GRE. Anyway, I did not apply to business school. But when I applied to business school, I had the GMAT and the GRE. And my GRE score was worse than my GMAT score because you have a lot of vocabulary, okay? And at that time, you had much more than now, okay? And when I took the first time the GRE in 92. And of course, it was very difficult to tackle because there were many words that I didn't know, okay? Now, basically, it's strange because now I work with my students on the GRE, but we only have at MBA Center, we only have private tutoring, okay? So we have a GRE class, but me, I give private tutoring to some of my students, you see, Gaurav, who have taken the GMAT and they want to switch and they have like 1 month to switch from the GMAT to the GRE. So I take care of them and I have 2 students that I teach the GRE. And it's interesting to see, I'm going to share my experience. So of course, the GMAT, the math part on the GRE is very easy, okay? But of course, it's the verbal part. So even for someone who is not a native speaker, it's funny because after like 1 month of preparation, I'm sure that Aryan, you agree on the same thing.
Yeah.
At the end, the vocabulary becomes very good. And there are many words that you didn't know. And basically it comes up, you develop the intuition. So basically, I was very surprised yesterday. Normally, there are always words that I don't know. Sorry, English is not my mother tongue. But I said that I spent like the last few months with students studying the GRE, so we do both. And now there was not a single word that seemed to be really unknown. So I was very surprised. So basically, you see, Gaurav, it speaks like mathematics. At the end, once you have spent 3 months on that, you become very good. Okay, so of course, so that's something students should not be scared by the vocabulary section of the GRE. They become very good on that. Okay. What difference do you make, Gaurav, between people who take the GMAT and the GRE at your institute? What difference do you make? Are they the same students? For instance, you have the MSc in IT who do the GRE and the MBA students who do the GMAT, or it can be either one. How do you distinguish?
So yes, what we experience that people who intend to apply to MBA, they prefer GMAT only, and people who are looking for MS courses, they prefer GRE only. For MIA, that's again inclination towards a GMAT for most of them.
Okay, but the way tell them that it is tell them that it is stupid because both are accepted. Okay, so tell them don't bother, both are accepted, and you can do very well with either one. Okay.
Right.
So Aryan, you have been accepted to US and European program, so to US and European Business School at the master level, not an MBA. Why have you finally picked up a European program, and why an MIF at ESSEC?
So first and foremost, as to why I chose Europe over the US is because of the ranking and reputation of the program that is offered at French universities. So US on one hand is known as the place for engineering and computer science masters programs, whereas business masters and business masters masters in finance and management, all these programs were originated in Europe originally. And that's one of the reasons what propelled me to choose Europe over the US. A, the rankings and reputation of the university, and two, because European universities, UK based universities are known for their excellence in business and specialized business masters. And when it comes to choosing ESSEC, if we look at the latest QS and Financial Times rankings, ESSEC Masters in Finance is ranked ahead of London Business School and also the likes of Oxford Masters in Finance. So ESSEC for me was a no-brainer, given that the Masters in Finance also is in partnership with the CFA program. So there is a specialization track offered by CFA, which is something that wasn't there in the other programs I got into. And because of the career support that ESSEC has, and this program focuses less on theoretical aspects of finance, and majorly focuses on the practical aspects of finance. So getting a job is, as Indians, we are skeptical about investing our hard-earned money for masters, but this is a very the practical nature of the program makes it a very job-oriented program, and that's why this program has so far maintained a very staggering employment rate of 100%. So these are some of the reasons why I chose ESSEC Business School over the other business schools that I've got into.
Okay, so basically that's the way it is. And so you have to understand so that in Europe we have a long history of excellence in business education, okay, especially in France. And of course, these programs are not MBAs; they are masters. Okay, so basically it's their revenge. So they are very well equipped to welcome students who are freshers out of their undergrad, and to help them for another 1 or 2 years get more knowledge before attacking real life. That's what I've been through that myself. So I had a master in social science, and I went to Sciences Po, but in the academics and finance department, where it was a sort of business school. You see, so in Europe it's extremely common. You see, and we are well equipped for that. And of course now, basically you have a specialization of the offer, and because we live now on a global market, basically it's common sense that the market is going in the global market is going on the continent that has the greatest expertise in this field. Okay, and of course, I'm surprised. I live in Lille. To see that two schools that are in Lille, EDEC and Schema, are so known. Sometimes they are better known in India than in Lille. It's funny to see that they have reached somehow global recognition. You tell me, Gaurav, probably I hope that we will welcome you this summer in Europe, that you can get us enough students so that we can invite you, Gaurav. How do you perceive European business schools being based in India? You're on mute, Gaurav. Gaurav, you're on mute.
Yeah. So European B schools are certainly much better than any Indian B school, and of course at times they're better than their US counterparts as well. There is enough demand in students basically for European B schools. So yes, they are sought after, they are prestigious. This is the perception among these students.
Okay, that's the perception that they have. So basically, I guess that the perception that Aryan has is correct. For masters, you go in Europe. For an MBA, you go in the US. You see, that's probably the way they see. But now, of course, you see, Gaurav, I guess that the problem is not the quality and the level of schools in India. There are two things that you have to take into consideration. Indians, because of visa reasons, they want to go abroad, and education is a good way to go abroad. Okay, it's a good reason and a perfect opportunity to go abroad, because you get education, you develop your network, you get also a visa from 1 to 3 years. Okay, and the problem is not at all the quality of Indian business school. At least I'm sure that they are very good. But the problem is that, of course, if you stay in India, salaries are not the same. When I was talking to my students, you see, out of ISB, ISB salaries are something like 25,000. 25 lakhs. Okay, 25 lakhs. Normally, you make Aryan will make 4 times that. Make 4 times that. You see, Aryan after ESSEC, after 1 year, you make 4 times that. So you can imagine when you finish ISB, you're 28, 29, you make 25, and believe me, the cost of life in London is not 4 times cost of life in India. Coca-Cola, a bottle of water costs roughly the same thing. Okay, metro ticket costs roughly the same thing. Okay, yes, housing is more expensive, but at the same time, if you buy, you also have a more expensive asset. Okay, so
Obviously,
make
but if you're
a big salary. If you have a big salary, you can buy an asset, and you say, okay, flats are more expensive in London. And it's okay, you buy a flat in London, and your asset would be. And when I say that, when you see the price of real estate in Delhi, I'm not sure that it's so much better in Delhi. You see, Gaurav. So basically, what you have to see is that, yeah. What do you want to say, Aryan?
No, I just wanted to add on to what you were saying that, this is another general perception that people have that, majority of your salary, whatever you make gets, the living expenses suck it up. But that's so not true. Like, I am going to ESSEC Business School and, I need around 860 to 900 euros to sort of for my monthly expenses, which includes my rent.
Which is 70,000 lakh rupees. Okay,
which is 70,000 rupees. And if you're making like, let's say 100k euros after ESSEC, and you're still sort of shelling out 1,000 or 1,200 euros towards your monthly living costs, the maximum that you are spending is around 15,000 euros or like 16,000 euros living cost annually. You're still after paying the taxes, you're still saving almost double of what a person in India makes annually after graduating from ISB or XLRI for that matter.
so basically, I would say that if you get, I can see you use my phone.
Yeah.
What you save per year is what an ISB consultant makes per year.
Yeah.
So you save per year what they make per year. Okay,
Yeah.
so it gives you an idea of the different. Of course, now it's very different. Of course, India is very different from Europe because Europeans have to be self-supporting themselves at a young age. Okay, whereas the
Yes.
Indian is supported by the parents, by the family. Fortunately, otherwise they could not make it. Anyway, the only way you can understand how Indians make it because you have a strong family support. Okay, but you have to see that in Europe, once you start to work, your parents stop supporting you. They will probably not even pay for your wedding. Most of the, unless you come from a very wealthy family, from an affluent family, okay, your parents will not pay for your wedding. They will say it's your wedding. Basically, parents will give 2 lakhs. Parents from the father 2 lakhs. Parents from the on the boys' side 2 lakhs. On the girls' side 2 lakhs, and the rest is given by the kids themselves. So they pay for their wedding. Yeah, I paid for my wedding. Okay, so you have to see that it's people also
Hubert, I shall
because
take
people
your leave now.
Okay, so it
So
was
I have
nice
another
to
session.
talk to you, Gaurav.
Yeah, great talking to you both, Dr. Hubert.
Okay, and of course we'll send you the recording. Okay, we'll send you the recording, and we'll work on everything. And of course,
I'll circulate among the students, and they will benefit from it.
Okay,
And of
and
course,
you as well.
You as
well. Okay. Thank you very much,
All
Gaurav.
right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Bye,
So,
everyone.
thank you. So Aryan, to sum up, so now, where are you with your ESSEC degree? So I know that you're applying for scholarships now. Have you found a place? Are you ready to move? So what is the next
So
step?
I have finalized for the first 6 months. I have finalized the CLH residence, which is one of the ESSEC residences in the Surgery vicinity. It's like pretty close to campus, and I wanted to sort of experience hostel life, because in India I did my undergrad from Xavier's Mumbai, and Xavier's Mumbai doesn't have a hostel for everyone to stay. So like I used to live in a flat with 3 of my friends. So I wanted to experience what it is like to live in a hostel with other students. So for the first 6 months, I have finalized the CLH residency. And after that, as discussed with you, I'll be moving out of the CLH residence, and will be moving to a private house, because it is cheaper, and staying in a private house is cheaper and much more convenient than staying in the student accommodation that they have. And as far as scholarships are concerned, ESSEC offers you 2 kinds of scholarships. merit scholarship, and then there is a monthly allowance scholarship, which is known as the Charpak scholarship. So you are eligible for the monthly allowance scholarship of 860 euros. Once you have received, you are eligible to apply for that scholarship once you have received an offer letter from the school. So I received my offer letter in February, on February 17th, and 2-3 days ago I applied for the Charpak scholarship as well. And apart from that, there are no other external scholarships that are there in place. There is and ESSEC offers you a merit scholarship. So for merit scholarship, you don't really have to submit any extra essay or any. You don't have to fill any other application form. If they find your application worth it, if they like all the components of your application, you get automatically selected for a merit scholarship. Like I got a merit scholarship, like Duke University offered me a merit scholarship for $15,000, right? So that's the status on the scholarship bit, Dr. Hubert, and the residence bit.
Okay, and then also the good news is also the CAF, huh?
Yeah, the CAF
that you get. Can you explain what it is?
Yeah. Sure. So if you are an international student who wants to study in France, you get a CAF. CAF is a monthly allowance of 200 to 300 euros. Generally, in the case of students who go for masters, the CAF is around 200 euros. So you get this money reimbursed, or like, let's say you can consider it that you get this money every month credit in your bank account, and it allows you to sort of CAF is basically an effort from the French government to help you pay for your rent. So let's say if your room rent is 500 euros, you get you get 200 euros basically from the French government. So effectively, what you are paying for your rent is only 300 euros. So this is how CAF works, and it is all the international students, irrespective of which university they come from or which university they have been accepted to, all of them are eligible for the CAF scholarship, program offered by the French government.
Okay, so basically, if I understand well, so when you get accepted to a European Business School, first
only France, only French.
Okay, yeah.
CAF is
for
French.
For a French business school or at ESSEC, you have a 2-year program. So you say you can expect some type of scholarship. You get 3,000 euros per year from the
French government.
So basically, CAF is called Caisse d'allocation familiale. So it means that basically it's the French Social Security. In reality, the French Social Security will give you 3,000 euros to find a housing. You're allowed to work 20 hours per week. For instance, Aryan, you will probably work 10 hours per week still, even though he will be busy with his studies, but let's say you can still work a bit. And then you'll have the internship that is paid. And if ever you cannot, that's the magic of ESSEC. And so if ever you need extra money, you can take a gap year between year 1 and year 2 to save extra money. You get paid 1,800 euros per month. Then you can go into apprenticeship if necessary. Can you explain what is the apprenticeship at ESSEC? It is something very unique at ESSEC.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Another reason why ESSEC Business School, stands out for me is the provision of the apprenticeship program. So, like in India, we have first year and second year. If it is a 2-year program in France, it is called M1. The first year is called M1, and the second year is called M2. So if you want to like have enough work experience under your belt before you apply for jobs during the final year of studies, between year 1 and year 2, you can do a gap year. So this gap year is offered by ESSEC Business School, and it is known as their apprenticeship program. Like gap years are offered by many business schools, like even HEC offers a gap year, but they do not have any apprenticeship program in place. During the apprenticeship program, you get to work with 2 companies. Like you can work with one company for 12 months, or like you can work with 2 companies for 6 months each. So what happens is that as soon as you receive an apprenticeship, if you're doing a 1-year apprenticeship program, 50% of your fees is reimbursed, or like let's say 50% of your course fee is paid by the company on your behalf. And on top of that, you also get a monthly allowance ranging from 1,300 euros to 1,800 euros. Whatever, that is up to you. Whatever it depends on what you negotiate with the HR. But this is the monthly stipend amount plus 50% of your 50% of your course fee is somewhere around 20 to 25,000 euros. So it's like another scholarship, which is offered by ESSEC through their apprenticeship program. And another benefit of this program is that of the apprenticeship program is that you get work experience under your belt. It allows you to develop a network, and in most of the cases, and in cases that I know, majority of the people, they end up getting placed at those companies, like where they are working during their internship. So at the end of your apprenticeship stint, you already have a full-time job offer. So basically second year of college, or let's say M2 at ESSEC, becomes like a fun and frolic year for you. You can do whatever you want to do because you already have a job. So all you need to do is focus on your studies and extracurricular activities. You don't really need to grind hard to find a job. So this is something very, very unique, offered by ESSEC Business School.
Okay. So Aryan, thank you very much. So of course, you've seen we also gave a seminar for Gaurav students. It's important that they know about what we do.
Yeah.
It's also important that we educate the market. And of course, now you have a great experience. Can you imagine you have been working on all this for almost 2 years now?
Yeah.
So you're super knowledgeable. You're an expert. By the way, don't hesitate to talk to Aryan, because Aryan, basically, he has developed two things. He had two great contributions at MBA Center. He has developed a concept of summer camps for the 18, 19 years old. So he has developed a program where we start to take care of them, send them abroad. Then he has a 2-year preparation. He has set up a 2-year preparation that including summer school, internships, preparation, application, etc. So it's a very good program. And also he has been able to identify something that I had not identified clearly, some master programs from top business schools that do not require any GMAT at all. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, give me so your top 5 choices. I will give you my top 5. You give me your top 5. Okay. So what are your top 5 without the GMAT in top business school? I'm not
Boston University. There's Boston University.
Yeah.
There is Georgetown. Then
But
there
I'm
is
speaking of MSCs without GMAT.
Okay, you're talking about
tests
MSc.
in Europe.
Sure,
I remember
sure.
what
So
you have,
if you look at HEC Paris, they have a
Yeah.
very good program in marketing, masters in marketing for people who want to work in the marketing and luxury brand management sector in Europe. They don't ask for the GMAT. Similarly, if you look at ESSEC Business School, they have 2 very, very good programs. Both of them stand out. They do not require the GMAT. First program is the Strategic Management of International Business, or the SMIF program. It is for people who want to work in management consulting, strategy consulting roles. SMIF program is appropriate for them. No GMAT is required. And for their marketing program, again at ESSEC, no GMAT is required. Then Imperial College offers a very, very good program. It is the Masters in Finance program. And one program is called the MSc Management program, which is their MIM program. For both these programs, you do not require the GMAT. Another very good program that doesn't have GMAT as a prerequisite is the Georgetown University MIM. And last on my list would be the Boston University MIM, where GMAT is not a prerequisite.
Okay, so exactly that. Now, me, I will give my top 5. Now, my favorite is Polytechnic. Polytechnic has a very good program in corporate finance, economics, and data science. That does not ask anything, so for me it's a backup school, and of course it remains Polytechnic the best engineering school in Europe. So it's very impressive, and I've noticed now, you see, Aryan, that students on year 2, provided that they take the GRE, but they get an okay score like a 320, 325, you can do an exchange program either with HEC, so they can have a double degree from X and from HEC MIF, which is of course unacceptable, but that's the way it is, or with MIT. So basically, without the GMAT, you go to Polytechnic, you practice a bit during the year, you get a good GMAT, and then you go either to HEC or to Polytechnic. Not bad. Then
MIT,
Then Dauphine. Dauphine, it's the best management university in France. I did my post doctoral degree at Dauphine because I could no longer go to America. I was married at that time, so it was impossible for me to travel. And it's the best management university in Europe, in France, and one of the best in Europe. It's with huge research centers. It's a very impressive university, but it is really Franco-French. So basically, people do not know about this because the school is really, it's a public university. So basically, they cannot spend millions like IE in advertising, but in terms of quality, all my Dauphine bachelor students told me that when they studied at LBS or INSEAD, it was a joke compared to what they did. They told me at the thing that I was going back to my first year of bachelor when I went to LBS and INSEAD, and I believe them, okay, because it's a public university, very tough, but completely unknown internationally because they rely on the quality of their teaching, which by the way is not enough. Okay, Sciences Po Paris doesn't ask for anything, but of course it's a difficult school to get in. I'm a Sciences Po graduate, so it's no GMAT, and it's a top school. Then there's of course IEC. You have to see that we mentioned that IEC asks for the GMAT, but some students have GMAT waivers and more than a few. Maybe as in Indian, it may be difficult to have a GMAT waiver, but for Europeans, it's pretty easy. And of course, in the UK, Aryan mentioned that Imperial, for instance, doesn't ask for the GMAT. There's also a Work with Business School that is not too bad.
Yeah.
Doesn't ask for any GMAT. It's an acceptable school, but of course, it's not the level of recognition of LSE or Imperial, but it's pretty good. Huh? Okay. So it was nice to talk to you, all of you. So it was a very, very long seminar today. And Rita, we had a 1 hour and 10 minute seminar. And Rita will do 1 hour and a half. We'll do a summary of all that. And thank you again, Aryan, for your support. Have a good day, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye you.